All right. It's the sound of another Malarkey. We're coming right at you. This is your host, Matt. And staring at me on the screen very intently is my co host, Mr. John. How's it going, sir?
What's up?
Okay. Take two, John. Take two. So how you doing? It's been a while. Whole week since I talked to you.
Yeah, I think I have a cough, and I'm just hoping it's not a corona cough. So,
So have you learned any new skills in week? Was it 45 now?
feels like it.
All right.
And no,
See, you haven't taken up like those. What is it that I see commercials for it on TV. Is it
knitting.
Linda? No, Lynda.com. Is that a thing? Linda, or is that something else? Am I thinking of something else?
Linda,
Yeah.
is that what are those like weird courses or something?
Yeah. I'm they're not a sponsor or anything. I'm just
You're not thinking of like Udemy, right?
Udemy. Maybe it's something like that. I think. Or maybe Lynda.com is something else. No, actually,
What is
Lynda.com
Linda?
is like
Now I'm
software.
curious what Lynda.com is. What do they do?
Oh no, it has to do with like something else. Never mind. No, there's another one. Maybe it's the Udemy, or there's like other.
Oh, it is Linda with a Y.
Yeah. No, but it's something else.
No, but I mean, this sounds right. It says courses and instructors.
Yeah.
And
Or
then
that
design, business, photography, web development.
You ever get those ads on YouTube for like master courses? Like they'll have
Oh yeah, but it's funny is if you've been to the official website.
Mm-hmm. No.
Have you been?
No, I haven't been to.
Yeah, like it's because I have a couple of master courses.
Do you really?
Of official master courses.
Oh, okay.
I did the Aaron Sorkin one.
Uh-huh. Did you learn how to write better?
No. And I'm not saying because of him. It's just, yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like some of them are ridiculous because they even have like Steph Curry will teach you basketball. It's like no, really, like
first you have to be naturally gifted, and then
yeah, like that's a real one. Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah, actually, I don't even think I finished the Sorkin thing, even though it's all video, right? That's how lazy I could be.
Well, this is a time for people to to better themselves, right? They're stuck at home, they have nothing else to do. Some people are working, but I mean, pretty much it's not like your people are really that busy all day. So this is the time to better yourself. And
you know what's crazy is I was reading more before this.
Really?
Yeah, like actually not just listening to books, which is primarily what I do.
Why do you think you're reading less now?
I don't know. It's weird. I tried, and it's like.
Is it because it might be because you're like stuck at home, or what do you think? What do you think that the psychology behind that?
I don't know. I can't figure it out. Like I kind of, like I was in the middle of another like weird like creative writing book, and I never I was like I read a lot like before this happened. It's not even a long book. I just read like in a couple of nights. I read like almost like 2/3 of it, and I haven't finished it. But then I started listening to another audiobook for, I don't know, probably a few hours in.
Yeah.
But I'm accumulating way too many credits.
Yeah.
It is sad. It's a credit every month, and it's hard to listen to a book a month.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
I'm just saying to even say that makes you feel like a piece of shit.
You know what? It seems like there's no middle ground, right? It's either you hear of those people who read a book a week, and then you hear people who have trouble reading a book a year, and like I think you're either all in or you're not. Like I remember when I was younger, I would read a lot, but I would read a lot. Like I probably was going through like a book a week, but I think it's one of those. It's one of those. You just got to build that habit, right? Whether it's you're writing every day or you're reading every day. It's not something like you're like, oh, I'll pick it up in a few days. You sort of
you have to like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, I don't know. I used to, like, I knew people who would like love to read, and it's just funny because they don't like. Do you ever meet somebody who you think is like dumb, but they're like, they read? I don't know. They're just like big readers.
Mm-hmm. They know a lot about.
It's not common, but
No.
you don't think of them as like, you think of them like the opposite of like oh, school sucks, kind of like whatever, but they like love to read.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've only met a few of those people, but yeah, like.
Well, there's some people who don't like school, who really aren't good at school, but they like to learn stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's people, and it wasn't just, and when you say learn stuff, it wasn't just that. Like, I knew people who would read, like they'll just love to read anything, like even fiction. Like, you already know I'm not big on fiction.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never lined up for the Harry Potter books.
This is the time for you to learn that second language you've always been saying you want to learn, John. So.
English.
You know, for me personally, I've been doing, you know, I haven't been like bettering myself per se, but I think I've been getting more stuff done around the house that I've put off on doing. So just because, you know, I'm not going anywhere on the weekend, so I think I've seen that change. So all these, you know, half finished projects, I'm going back and finishing them. So
I think a lot of people are doing that.
Yeah. So
like trying to fix a lot of shit. Like,
yeah, just have more time, but yeah.
Going to Home Depot.
Yeah. But you know, another thing that people are doing is something that we're going to talk about today, which is speculate about different conspiracy theories. We've been hearing, you know, I don't want to get into the ones that are current, but you've been hearing some conspiracy theories about our current times. So because of that, we want to dive into the realm of conspiracy theories, which is always a fun world to go visit, right? The paranoia, the speculation.
Have you literally visited this world?
Yeah, I try to do it like in 10-minute intervals, so I don't get lost. You can get lost in this world, John. So,
yeah, that's always been a fear of mine.
No, but this week we do want to do our much. It's one of our more fun segments. Our conspiracy theory corner. We haven't done one. What's the last one we did? Can't remember the last one we did, but it's been a while since we did a conspiracy theory.
What was the last one we did? The JFK again?
No, JFK. When we came back, we did that one first. So we've done a few after that one. We don't do as many just because it's a little hard. We don't want to like delve into it too much, otherwise you run out of stuff to talk about. But we try to sparse out, you know, over.
Was it something with Hollywood? I can't remember.
Might have been. Can't remember. We'll look back to see which was the last conspiracy theory corner. But I should know. You know what? We haven't done it in so long, John. I messed up the title. It's not it's conspiracy and coffee.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I was gonna mention that.
Yeah. That's how long.
Ago.
That's how long it's been. I forgot our official. Here I'm the host of this show, and I'm messing up our own segment. Right? Conspiracy and coffee.
Was the last one we did about coffee?
Yeah, the coffee and beans are disappearing. But no, we haven't done one in a while, John. And you know, you suggested this week's topic, and
that's funny. It's like you kind of stayed in the same realm what you wanted to do, but I was like, do something different. I'm like, I don't even know. I didn't even learn much about what we're trying to do.
Well, we'll learn together, John, during these next 50 minutes or so on the conspiracy in question, which is, you know what? I don't know if many people know about this one. I don't know how popular you think this conspiracy theory is amongst just like the average person. Do you think?
Well, I know Time Magazine had it
They co-
number 10.
they covered it, really.
Yeah.
Of
Well,
like number 10 of
they
all time, or
number 10 in America, I think.
oh, okay.
But it was this was years ago, and I don't know how much they actually covered, or if it was just like a list with just like a abstract
Mm-hmm.
of they might have covered like one conspiracy and then just ranked them 1 through 10. I think it was number 10.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. So
Yeah.
the conspiracy that we're going to talk about this week is something called the Reptilian Agenda. Reptilian Agenda, John. That
You,
is. Go ahead.
have you ever had a reptile?
Like as a pet?
Yeah.
No, I never really had pets growing up. I had like a cat and a dog, but I was a little older. I never had like pets.
I don't like lizards. We've talked about this.
Have you really? You don't like lizards?
No, I think the lizards freak me out.
What
I
is
don't
it?
know.
What is it about lizards that freak you out?
It's like the scaly skin, the eyes, just the way the fucking tail keeps moving. If you were to cut it off,
So then, if this is true, then would really freak you out, right? If the Reptilian Agenda is true.
right?
So,
Because, which I guess this makes me a sick kid, but I remember just doing some. I don't know if I did it or with some other kid I was playing with. Cut the tail off a lizard and it kept moving,
uh
and that freaked me out. And I still remember it.
huh. No, so to explain to people maybe who haven't heard about this conspiracy theory, the main thing behind it is that people believe there's reptilian humanoids living among us, and especially in our world leaders, right? So they think that reptilians have taken over and they secretly disguise themselves as humans to run the world. Um,
Be honest. How much? What was your research going into this?
Not much.
Was it some quacks on YouTube, or was it?
just
Or was
just
it?
just a lot of Wikipedia. Some I saw the I think the same one you did, the Ancient Aliens show did a
Yeah.
thing on it. So
Season like 14 or something.
when they run out of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, it was at the top of their list.
Yeah. Um,
Not episode 14, season 14.
um, it's interesting. The main guy who's given credit on popularizing this is a guy. I don't know if you this name came up in your research. A guy named David Icke. I can't pronounce his last name.
I think it's Ike or Ick.
Ike.
Yeah.
Ike. David
Yeah.
Icke. He's a Englishman, John. Sophisticated. So you know he must be speaking truth. He has a British accent. He's apparently he's a former footballer. I'm guessing. Here in America we call soccer.
Yeah.
And he's I guess he's he's a sports guy, and he got into conspiracies. Yeah,
What's funny is if you put his name in on Google,
mm-hmm.
it comes up like because that's what he's known for is like he does all this conspiracy stuff now, right?
Yeah.
It comes up as former former like football player or former soccer player. Like that's what it comes up as. It's
Oh,
really? Yeah, even though it's like.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you saw that he was also then after that he was a TV broadcaster.
Yeah, he was a sports broadcaster. I read that. And in 1990, apparently he was the spokesman for the Green Party over there in England. And apparently in that year he visited a psychic, who he said the psychic told them that he had been placed on Earth for a purpose, and would begin to receive messages from the spirit world. So these events led him to announce the following year. This is what he called himself. He said he was the son of the Godhead,
Right.
and the world would soon be devastated by tidal waves and earthquakes.
Right. Yeah, he went on some TV show and announced that he was like the son of God or something.
Yeah. No, the son of the Godhead, the son of the
Okay.
Godhead. And then since then he's authored uh, not down setting. He's authored over 20 books, and he
That
lectures.
you're gonna make that a conspiracy theory.
Right. Um.
He had a ghostwriter.
So apparently, over an 11-year period, he wrote. They had some of these books had titles like "The Robots Rebellion," and "The Truth Shall Set You Free," "The Biggest Secret," and "Children of the Matrix." So he developed a. That's where he developed his worldview of like New Age conspiracism. Sorry. His endorsement of the anti-Semitic forgery, the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, and the Robotics Rebellion, and "At the Truth Shall Set You Free," led his publisher to refuse to publish his books, which now he self-publishes after that. So he is one of the proponents of the fact that a lot of our world leaders may be reptiles in disguise, as opposed to robots in disguise, right?
Yeah, the I think a lot of people give him shit, which is expected,
Uh-huh.
but because he makes pretty good money doing his tours and his book tours and his 5-day presentations or whatever he's doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like, yeah, I think he makes a few mil a year doing it.
Yeah, I mean it's
From
a
what
good,
I saw.
it's a good gig, and if he really believes it, right? It's one of those, he's doing what he loves, spreading the truth, as many people would say.
Oh.
Um,
Yeah, he said. I think I saw something with him. He said he's doing it for his children and grandchildren. So because there's a big plot apparently by these lizard people to I don't know, someday just take over the. I don't know anymore. But do something that he doesn't want.
so going further on what he thinks. So in his 1999 book, The Biggest Secret, he this is when he first introduced the theme of this, where he described tall, blood drinking, shape shifting reptilian humanoids from the do you know where the Alpha Draconis star system is, John?
Absolutely not. No.
So he says that's where they came from. The Alpha.
Is it near Uranus?
Yes, it is. It is near Uranus. Um. So now that they came from that star system, and now they're hiding in underground bases, and apparently they are the force behind a worldwide conspiracy against humanity. So he contends that most of the world's ancient and modern leaders are related to these reptilians, including the Merovingian dynasty, the Rothschilds, the Bush family, and the British royal family.
Do you get how this even like the origin? Like everybody has like or the most accepted origin of how this even started, because I'm a little lost there.
So,
I mean, were people having sex with reptiles? I mean,
well,
like...
yeah. I think the concept of there being serpent men or like reptile guys came from. Do you know who Robert E. Howard is?
No.
He's the creator. He wrote. He was a writer, and he's the one who created Conan the Barbarian.
Okay.
So he was one of the first to write about reptile men, reptilians, serpent men in some of his fiction books. So the first appearance of serpent men was in one of his stories that was titled "The Shadow Kingdom," which was published in Weird Tales in August 1929. So this story drew on ideas of the lost worlds of Atlantis and Lemuria, particularly the Secret Doctrine, written in 1888, with its reference to dragon men, who once had a mighty civilization on a Lemurian continent. So I think it just started with like this, this idea, this fiction, obviously fiction books of like the idea of men, these serpent men coming from this ancient race that isn't from Earth.
Okay. I mean, I just kind of thought, I don't know, some dude had sex with a turtle.
No.
It seems to be like accepted that it's more like almost like philosophical or religious kind of thing, right?
Yeah, and I think he took. I mean, if you look at how Howard described his serpent man, he described them as humanoids. So these things had human bodies and snake heads, and they were able to imitate humans at will. And they lived in underground passages and used their shape changing, and mind control abilities to infiltrate our our ranks. So.
Sons of bitches.
So I think that's where it started, and then over the next few decades, people sort of built on it. And that's I think eventually that's what we got to this whole reptilian agenda, which
Yeah,
it's gone into politics. Apparently, apparently in 2008, during the U.S. Senate election in Minnesota, between comedian and commentator Al Franken and incumbent Senator Norm Coleman. One of the ballots challenged by Coleman, including a vote for Franken with lizard people written in the space provided for writing candidates. Lucas Davenport, who later claimed to have written the gag ballot, said, "I don't know if you heard the conspiracy theory about the lizard man. A friend of mine, we didn't like the candidates, so we were at first going to write in revolution because we thought I was good and to the point, and then we thought the lizard people would be even funnier." So this is entering politics,
nice.
John.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, I mean that's where I guess that's all the modern day stuff, right? Is that
Mm-hmm.
you have to be at least part lizard to be in politics, it seems.
Yeah.
Because what I saw, and I don't know if this was on the same thing, was that they have the full bloods, and then they have the crossbreeds.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, and apparently, yeah, the full bloods, they're actually they're hiding.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Or okay, well, there's two theories.
Mm-hmm.
They can both be walking around. this this is what I gathered from one of the quack things that I saw online, which could be very credible. They're not all quacks, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Especially when it says lizard expert under their name, or
Okay.
reptilian expert.
Yeah.
It says the full bloods. Okay, apparently they don't actually change into humans.
So what happened to?
They can actually alter your mind so that you
Oh.
see them as human.
But they stayed the same. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're doing this at the same
And,
time to everybody that they come into contact with.
right. Right. And the crossbred ones,
Uh huh.
they don't know they're reptiles. The full bloods know.
Okay.
The cross ones, they don't know. I think it's for so much we'll call it inbreeding
Uh-huh.
among lizards.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, people are saying we're all lizards, so
People are
I don't
talking.
know anymore.
People are
Yeah,
talking, right? I mean,
I don't
it's
know anymore.
yeah.
Isn't there a movie where they like it's kind of like that, like they can change how you see people?
A
Like
movie that does that? I'm trying to think. Uh, None
I don't
that's
remember.
popping up.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's from my extensive research.
All right.
And
Um.
then it's just saying it's all connected to what they call the grays, which are some literally the aliens that you see in like common alien form and stuff.
Uh huh.
So I don't know. Apparently the grays are controlled by reptilians. And this all comes back to the Illuminati. It's very simple.
Uh huh.
For yeah, it's not rocket surgery.
Well, John, do you know how you would be able to tell if, say, someone you know, or maybe even yourself, has been possessed by a reptile from outer space? Do you know the symptoms to look out for?
I did see some.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
there are. Go ahead.
So
What do you have?
I'll list them out, a couple of them for you. So if you want to know, hey, is somebody that I know has been possessed by a reptile, or maybe even me myself, like you mentioned, some people don't know. Here's some of the common signs: predominance of green or hazel eyes that change color like a chameleon, but also blue eyes. Piercing eyes. True red or reddish hair. A sense of not belonging to the human race. Deep compassion for fate of mankind. Psychic abilities. Unexplained scars on body. ESP. Keen sight or hearing. UFO connections. Capability to disrupt electrical appliances. Have you been able to do that recently, John? Disrupt electrical appliances?
I not intentionally.
Okay. Love of space and science. Alien contacts, and then the most important one, low blood pressure.
I have seen some of those. Yeah, like low blood pressure to where it's like dangerous, or like they're just saying. I think this is just they're very calm, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I,
you want to know, like, we were talking about, obviously,
yeah.
you're gonna
It's funny, but one of the symptoms I have too.
what?
ESP.
um, so
Oh wait. Oh, you did say
yeah,
ESP,
I did say
right?
ESP. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That one made me laugh.
Yeah. So what's interesting now that we know what to look for, it makes it a lot easier for us to start pinpointing people who may be, a reptile. And there's some famous examples, like I mentioned earlier. It's crossed over into politics. So there's a lot of our world leaders who probably are these reptiles, right? So if you take, for example, our former president Barack Obama, maybe people speculate that he may be a reptile. So let's go through the list. Yes, Obama's eyes are usually not blue or green, but he can maybe change them. So maybe that first you know symptom, maybe it's just he's changing his eye color, right? And then
Well, it's when a lot of people have that example, right? But they change into like the lizard eyes and
mm-hmm.
for like a glaring second.
Yeah.
So their eyes become like what's the word? What's the I guess they mean the word is reptilian, but it's almost like a diamond, like a football shape, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like like they go from round to like yeah, like a football basically.
Uh-huh.
And that's like people are putting these images and videos together online. And I don't know how authentic they are, but they are interesting.
Well, and then just to go down the list, remember the one of the symptoms was deep compassion for fate of mankind. Barack Obama was once called compassion in chief by the Washington Post, John. So obviously he has that. That's another check mark, right? And according to his doctors, Obama has low blood pressure. So,
Very nice.
yeah. And
It's
then
funny if you want to stay on Obama. There's a video where he has the uncanny ability to assassinate flies apparently, and he swatted a fly during a CNBC interview.
exactly. So he has the reflexes of what a lizard might do. He was just hiding his tongue, right? He didn't want to be that obvious about it.
Yeah.
Another symptom was keen sight or hearing. And as you know, Obama doesn't wear glasses or wear a hearing aid, so obviously his sight and hearing is there, right? And apparently, you know what? There was a video that you used to be able to find, but now YouTube has blocked it, where documented
How convenient.
Obama it documented Obama's unexplained scar on his body, and now you can't find this video. I tried clicking on it, it wasn't working. And apparently his teleprompter sometimes breaks, so we're talking about one of the symptoms was disrupting electrical appliances. So there's one of them. And we do know he loves science, especially kid scientists. So, you know. And then they do mention his uncanny ability to assassinate flies. So it was during a CNBC interview. He swatted a fly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one that I saw. I
So
saw one where they freezed up Hillary Clinton too, and she had her lizard eyes were exposed.
okay. So what do you think? So I think the verdict he has to be a reptilian, right?
I'm gonna go with yes.
He has to. He does. He has to.
I'm gonna go with yes.
So we'll skip over. Yeah, let me see. Let's go to.
During when Biden was vice president.
Yes, the Biden's another person that they bring up. Go ahead.
I don't know if you have this, but they said 3 days after he took office, there was a giant spike in UFO sightings in his home state.
Really? Ah.
Explain that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the evidence is uncanny.
Yeah. So, if you want to stay on Biden, let's go through Biden. Let's see. You know what? He does have blue eyes, so that's one of the indicators, right?
Yes, that is.
He doesn't wear glasses, so he has a keen sense of vision.
Oh.
He has something unexplained scars. And they mentioned that the UFO thing here, so that's the UFO connection. And he likes science.
I think they did quote him once as saying that he enjoys science.
He enjoys science.
Dead giveaway.
Yeah, so I mean, Biden probably a reptilian, right?
And you can find videos of his eyes as well. Shape.
Yes,
shifting.
there's a video of there's a video that they went close to his eyes and his eyes shifted. So he has to be reptilian. It makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's 2 for 2 when it comes to Obama and Biden.
Yeah. Let's go to a different guy. Let's go to the other side of if people might think, oh, then all Democrats are reptilian. No, let's go to the other side of the aisle. Let's look up a Republican. There's reptilians that they don't stick to one political party. What about Senator Ted Cruz, the senator of the great state of Texas, John?
Yes, he is.
Yes.
He is definitely one.
Cruz, he has eyes, so I mean that's one, right? Apparently, WorldNet Daily, which is a conservative site, they think that
I've been waiting for him to shape back into a human.
So
and stop looking like a reptilian. Because he's just a dead giveaway.
And apparently he according to WorldNet Daily, which is a conservative site, they think that Cruz is psychic. So I mean,
really?
Yeah. And then apparently Cruz, he opposed increased funding for NASA. So that makes you think, what is he trying to hide? What does he not want NASA to go, find? Like if he increases funding for them, they might go and find his own planet, right? So that's a little fishy for him to not want to increase funding for NASA. If he has nothing to hide, just give him the money, right?
Yeah. So. No, I mean, I think you can just take a quick glance at Ted Cruz and
he's probably.
Yeah, I would. I'm about 95% on Ted Cruz.
Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's how you can spot a reptilian, John. Do you think you're a reptilian? You want to take the test? Let's answer the questions for you. Maybe you just don't know. Okay. All right. Do you have green or hazel eyes? Do they change color, or are they blue eyes?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
I
have brown eyes.
Do you think you have piercing eyes, John?
Piercing?
Yeah, piercing eyes.
I don't know. Do I? I'm gonna say no.
John, do you have red or reddish hair?
No.
Okay.
It's beginning to gray.
Okay. Do you ever have a sense of not belonging to the human race?
um, always.
Always. Okay, let's put that as a yes for you. Do you have low blood pressure, John?
It is pretty normal. You know what's crazy?
Uh
I have a really fast heartbeat,
uh
but
huh.
my blood pressure is normal.
Really? Huh. So that's a little unusual. We'll put that as a yes. Do you have deep compassion for fate of mankind?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have keen sight or hearing?
I have excellent hearing,
You have excellent.
actually.
Yeah, you do have excellent. You wear glasses, but your hearing is pretty good.
All right.
Um.
I wear glasses to hide my reptilian eye. Oh, I
Oh.
mean,
There you
next
go.
question.
So do you have psychic abilities?
Uh, I don't think so.
Okay. Do you have ESP?
I have ESP1 and
So
ESP2.
do you have the
Uh,
college? Do you have ESP college?
ESP Deportes.
Yeah. Do you have any unexplained scars on your body, John?
I have this mark on my hand, but I think I know where it came from.
Okay, so you can explain it. Uh,
Yeah.
so we talked
Uh,
earlier. I asked you if you say you don't have the ability to disrupt electrical appliances, right?
I mean, I broke like a magic bullet and
You know what?
I think I broke a toaster.
I think that counts, right? So do you have UFO connections, John? Have you ever um, made a connection with an unidentified flying object?
Yes, because I don't. If I don't know what it is, then it's a UFO.
Right, there you go. And do you have alien contacts, John? Do you know anybody who's an alien?
I mean, sometimes I need some work done, and it's just cheaper.
So there you go. So you do have contacts. You have contacts in your email or your phone.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
and then last one. I think this might be a yes for you. Do you have a love of space and science?
I did used to have like science kits as a kid,
There you go.
and yeah, yeah, I guess.
Okay, John. I'm gonna
I
I'm gonna I'm gonna submit your answers. I'm gonna calculate if your reptilian is doing his magic, and they're saying yes, you are a reptilian, John. Um, so
okay.
or at the very least, if you're not a reptilian, you have reptilian compatible bloodlines. So,
Okay.
so
So I could be like an organ donor.
yes, for another reptilian. Yes, yes. So there you go, John. You may be a reptilian. There you go.
Yeah. Was that really a test?
Yeah, it's really a test.
Okay. Very nice. It's a little cheaper than the ancestry.com.
All right, yeah. How much are those ancestry.com? No, not ancestry.com, but like the ones that you can find at the
Is it
stores.
the 21 and me or something?
Yeah, there you go, 21. How much are
Is it,
those?
is it 21 and me or 23 and me?
There you go, 23. Okay. I can't remember. I know it's 20 something.
Yeah. They're expensive.
Are they?
I think so. Probably like what is it, like at least like $100 maybe.
Okay, that's a lot. So that's a lot cheaper than that then. Yeah.
And then you gotta mail it off, right?
Yeah, I gotta mail it off. It's a little scary though. Like I would be hesitant to give that much information to a company, and now they have that data on me, and then we all know what companies like to do with data. Yeah. So.
They caught a guy. I think we talked about this. They caught a guy, like a cold case murder from one of those like
Oh yeah.
23 and me kind of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
So
sucks. Sucks for him.
yeah, and I think I had this question. Like, let's say hypothetically,
Mhm.
the police were to take my blood alcohol content.
Mhm. Okay.
What do they do with that? Do they like once they don't need it anymore?
All I did is destroy the sample. That's a good question. Because
Yeah.
technically, it is your possession, right? Like, I mean, it is your property.
Yeah, but I would think like, like whatever reason, like DUI or whatever, once that's over with,
Like they
like
like they
did
burn like they burn it they burn all that blood like they did in John Carpenter's The Thing, where it's just like, yeah,
yeah, something.
yeah.
I mean, you'd think they have to get rid of it, right?
I don't know. I don't know what the protocol is when it comes to getting rid of. Because I mean, technically, it's evidence, right?
Yeah,
Up until you go to trial, but then once the
right,
trial's over with, it's no longer evidence. What do they do with? Like, I guess it goes back to what do they do with all evidence once the trial's over with. Do they get rid of
right.
it? Do they give it back
Yeah.
to the person? Like, here's your blood back. Thank you for thank you for letting us borrow it for your trial. What do they do?
Here's here. I don't know. Giving giving OJ all this bloody clothes back.
You go, sir.
I mean, they are his property, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I guess it just goes back to what do they do with any other type? I mean, it's just evidence, right? At the end of the day,
Yeah.
who knows?
I've thought about doing the 23andMe under somebody else's name.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Hmm?
I think you can. I don't see why it would be any less accurate, right?
Yeah, it's just like the name. Yeah, the name itself would be off, but I mean, what does that matter, right?
And then I'm gonna go on a killing rampage. No. Jeez.
So what do you think, John? What is your
Assessment?
yeah, I was thinking of another word, but assessment would do. What is your assessment of the reptilian amongst us? Do you think there is reptilian amongst us? Do you think there is, but it's not as prominent as some people think it is, or do you think no, it's total horse horse docky, and I don't know. I'm trying to think of a word. A bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, I I told you I started laughing because the liquor store that I go to,
Mm-hmm.
the guy that's usually there, he's always on his laptop,
Uh huh.
and then he's just like he's just like watching these shape shifting people. He's like, and he wanted me to just check it out, and he's like, oh man, look at this one. That's why I didn't really know it was a thing.
Uh huh.
Like I had heard about it, but I was like, is this really like something people are into?
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, that's how he likes to pass the time sometimes.
So what we like, we can look at other conspiracy theories and the psychology behind why people like just even the psychology behind why people believe conspiracy theories. It makes sense, right? People, the official story is not always true at times, so people are skeptical. I can't say the word. About the official story, right? Because people have been lied to throughout human history on certain things. So I mean that makes sense. But why do you think this theory has taken so much has gotten so much traction? Why do you think people really are seriously considering that there's this race of reptiles living amongst us?
I think the internet
Just the internet itself.
a lot, but yeah, but the fact that people can watch. I'm not saying these videos are authentic, or maybe it's just I don't know. Maybe if it's just the way videos come out. I don't know. You know more about that shit than me.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a glare or just something that happens with trick camera stuff that accidentally happens in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But to them, that's evidence right there. It's like, look, lizard eyes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
pause it right here,
Yeah.
and you can see that moment where their eyes are no longer normal and they look like a lizard. Like I saw some like of Mark Zuckerberg, and then people were like, when he was doing that had to testify in front of Congress,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, the weird.
they're like, look at him drinking water, pretending he's human. They're just like,
Yeah.
but it is funny. People put together these like compilations of him just sipping on water, looking like an alien. And I think he should definitely be at the top of the list too.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
Of suspects.
he doesn't act like a human would act, right?
Yeah, I think he's just like, yeah, humans drink water, just like drinking water now.
He has an internal timer set going off every 7 minutes, reminding
Yeah,
him he has to take a sip of water because
right,
he's quote unquote thirsty now.
right.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, right? It's interesting the prominence of this theory sort of popping up, you know, in the last 20 years or so, with coinciding with the popularity of the internet, right? Or the more access to the internet, that we had in the last 20 years, so including video, right? So
Right.
I think with video, that's led to a lot of people, like you said, seeing these things that may be just, you know, weird happenings, but if people look close enough, they can come up with any type of theory that they can try to explain. 'Cause that's what it is, right? We're just trying to explain in our own minds the mysteries of the universe. And why is that? That's weird. Anything weird, our minds try to put some rationale behind it. And I guess with this, it's the easiest is lizard people.
Yeah, and I guess like this guy too probably had a lot to do with it. The
Mhm.
one we started with.
Yeah, yeah.
What's his name again?
Icke,
Ike.
Icke, good old Icke,
Yeah,
David Icke.
because I mean, yeah, he's gotten some attention. I saw he had a Vice News piece. I didn't catch it though,
Mm-hmm.
and that stuff like that helps. Especially
Mm-hmm.
when he's talking about apparently they're about 7 to 8 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
So
So how did they
there's like,
scrunch up into like Obama's one, right? How did they scrunch them up down to like 6 foot something?
yeah, that's where I get a little bit confused. Is uh maybe they're the full bloods, so we
Uh,
see them
there you
as
go.
human.
There you go. So
And
they're
maybe those crossbreeds are the ones living underground. Did you see something about a place called Dulce Air Force Base?
no.
Dulce.
Okay.
Yeah,
Where's it at?
according uh good question. That is a good question. I don't know. Check it out for a second
Yeah.
while I
Yeah. Go ahead. I'll look it up.
yeah, Dulce. So I have this guy right here who refused to be on our podcast, by the way. There's a guy his name was Phil Schneider,
Okay.
and he was a government contractor who actually apparently survived this fight
Mm-hmm.
that was at Dulce Air Force Base, which is supposed to have this giant underground facility for the lizard people.
Okay. So
And,
the base is at the border of Colorado, New Mexico.
okay,
FYI.
yeah, I thought it was Colorado, but
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
sounds right.
Yeah.
Um, and apparently, yeah, he came out. There's a video of him talking about the fight.
Uh huh.
He said he was one of the few survivors. There was 66 deaths in this alleged fight
Oh wow.
between humans and lizards,
Uh huh. Okay.
and he was one of the lucky survivors.
Okay.
And these deaths were included everybody from the CIA agents to other government contractors like him who were working on the underground facilities. Like they were doing like what they call like the boring, where they kind of like where they're trying to build one of those underground like Breaking Bad kind of meth
Oh
labs.
yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only this is like I don't know, like 2,000 feet underground, I think,
Yeah.
according to him.
Okay.
And he survived a vicious fight. 66 people died apparently.
Wow. It's a lot of people.
8 months later,
Mm-hmm.
he died, and it
Interesting.
was ruled a suicide.
Hmm.
He had a rubber tube around his throat.
Hmm. That's
So
suspect.
that is suspect.
Like,
So there's a reason I was not able to get him on the podcast.
It is interesting when it comes to like we've seen it in different other stories when it comes to conspiracies, where somebody the person trying to expose it mysteriously dies. Right, you see it across
Right.
everyone from what was that journalist from Sacramento, Webb.
Gary Webb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got Webb. You have a
But
lot.
but those are much more believable.
Yeah, a lot of people from the JFK conspiracy. A lot of people were dying around that. But it
Oh.
makes you wonder. Like, I don't want to get off topic too much, but like someone like what is his name? The guy in Austin. Um,
The
uh,
one that shot from the tower?
no. What's his name? The Alex Jones. Something like Alex
Oh.
Jones.
Oh yeah,
Why
yeah,
do you
yeah.
think somebody like Alex Jones hasn't been killed by now? If he is exposing so many truths, like it makes you wonder why is he is he been let to live and so many others have been punished for
I'm
exposing the
not,
truths, John.
I don't think he's ever exposed. I could be wrong though. He has it. I mean, the guy thinks everything is a conspiracy, right?
Right, yeah.
So I mean, he is gonna get something right
Mm-hmm.
eventually,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
But I mean, he's so high profile. I think most people think he's a joke.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
I he did have that interesting footage. Remember the Bohemian Grove footage?
Yeah.
I was like, there's something weird going on there.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. I think, in fact, but he has he even had an interview with Gary Webb, I think, at one point
Mm-hmm.
back because he's been doing this for a long time.
Since the early 90s, yeah.
Yeah. So something like that. Like once in a while, he does come across like things that I'm like, yeah, I could see
Mm-hmm.
Gary Webb being, I guess we would call it assassinated, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was it ruled a suicide with 2 gunshot wounds to the head, right?
Yeah. It's a quick shot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Just like the one that I've always thought was it was the DC Madam was very
Oh, yeah.
unusual.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, she had a what is it? A whole black book full of I guess it was all DC,
Politicians. Yeah.
yeah, just politicians with the seeing prostitutes or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah,
And she was on the record saying she wouldn't kill herself, and then
she killed
she
herself.
hung herself too, which is unusual
For a woman, right?
for
Yeah.
for women, from
Yeah.
what I've read.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of goes back to even the people who don't believe in conspiracies. The Epstein thing was pretty recent,
Yeah. That was pretty
and
questionable too, right?
yeah, I think even people who don't believe in conspiracies thought that one was odd.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a middle ground to it, though. I
Uh-huh.
think it could be I think it's unhealthy to think everything is a conspiracy.
Because then you just become that guy living in your basement with your tin foil hat on, right? And then
Yeah.
you're just afraid of everything.
Or you become Alex Jones and you become very successful.
Selling your products that not only cure male pattern baldness, but COVID-19 apparently too. So
Did he make that claim?
I think so. I think he got in trouble for it a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
They told him he had to stop.
He's entertaining. I mean, he's entertaining. I think there's a danger to thinking everything's a conspiracy, but I also think there's a danger in being 100% on either side.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. It should be a. You should question at least some official stories, right? Um,
Yeah, I think we're laughing at this reptilian thing because do you believe it?
no, but what interested me more about it is the fact that I mean it's such an out there thing. It's one of the more interesting conspiracies because I think it's one of the more popular ones. It's more of the it's crazy people believe it, right? Like everything else, you can say okay, one way or the other, but like the fact that people really and it's a big, somewhat of a big thing amongst conspiracies. So I think this is one of the more out there conspiracy theories. So that's
I
what I
mean
find
they
interesting.
do have things like artifacts from, it looks like, what do I have here, like Sumerian people from BC days
Uh huh.
that are like part man, part lizard, and
Mm-hmm.
worshiping of serpents and stuff. I don't know what that stuff's about.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like there's not. It's kind of like when you see those old sculptures and even the paintings where there looks like they're looking at flying saucers.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've seen those.
I mean,
Yeah.
those are interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Makes you question what they
yeah,
what made them
yeah,
draw that. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Anything's possible,
Yeah.
but when you're running around and you're like this guy Phil Schneider, he could have been very mentally ill. That's one way to look at things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or he could have had this massive fucking fight with lizard people. That's the opposite
Yeah. Yeah.
of the two.
Yeah.
Now, or it could have been something right there in the middle.
Yeah. It's such a it is crazy the story though behind it. It's it's people either have a very crazy imagination or it was true.
Right.
But I think before we go, I think the one conclusion we could come to is that Obama's definitely reptilian or something else, right? We can
Yeah.
definitely conclude that Obama's not of this world.
That's why they kept asking for his birth certificate.
Yeah, and people, it's funny because most people thought, oh, they're asking because he was born in another country, but what most people didn't realize is, no, he wasn't born in any country.
Yeah.
That was the whole
How
point.
how are we not questioning Trump?
What do you mean?
As if we're going to Obama, I was like, Trump is very possible.
Oh, that's true. If I've been reptilian, I don't know. Like, you think he falls in any of those categories? His eyes? Does he have blue eyes?
I don't know. It's like his hair and his face are so distracting, and that you can't.
I would imagine if Trump was, I don't think he can hold that secret. I think he would just blab it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny too. Is like maybe that was one of the reasons that he was such a long shot, is because he wasn't reptilian,
Exactly. Yeah, I mean,
and
that's
that's
what it
why.
was, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why he was able, that they were freaked out when he got into office because they finally had a non-reptilian
And yeah,
in the White House.
he doesn't act like what like a typical politician would act like. I think that's the reason he like scares people so much because his actions are so non-reptilian, so they don't know what to expect from him.
Right.
So I think he definitely is not a guy who will hide his agenda, right?
No.
He tends to say it pretty loud
Right.
and clear, and I think that rubs all the other reptilians the wrong way because for centuries they've worked under the pretense of like, hey, we gotta keep this secret, and Trump doesn't work that way. Trump wants to put his name on it in big bright letters and tell everybody about it. So I think that's the reason he's disrupting the normal course of business with politics.
Or he's gonna tweet about it
Yeah,
someday.
exactly. Yeah.
If anybody wants to just dumb this down in its simplest form, you know what else I actually did watch
What?
was Jesse Ventura's old conspiracy show did a reptilian episode,
Oh, really?
and I liked how I really thought that show was very entertaining for people who never watched it. I
Mm-hmm.
think it had 3 seasons, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
And they had a reptilian episode. I I rewatched it because I knew we were gonna do this,
Yeah.
and it's so fun because he interviews this guy Ike too,
Uh-huh.
and he annoys the shit out of him.
Wait. Jesse does, or
Yeah,
Ike. Oh,
no,
Ike.
Jesse does. Yeah,
Oh, he annoys him. How?
yeah. Just because of the kind of questions he asks,
Uh-huh.
just just straight in your face, like proof, like what proof do you have? Show me a reptilian. How do you? And the guy just feels like he's getting bombarded by the way Jesse Ventura is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
God,
He's
how
very,
you
yeah,
see
yeah,
Jesse Ventura make like newscasters walk off sets.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
it's a very entertaining episode because he talks about how they're apparently they're tall and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you've seen a few of the episodes, right?
Yeah, yeah. He showed me the time travel one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he has in this episode he has like a lot of Oliver Stone's son and his son
Oh, that's right.
as
Yeah,
part of the team,
yeah, yeah.
and they're all investigating it. They talk to a chick that claims to be reptilian,
Mm-hmm.
and then they go to this. I think they go to Dulce, if I remember right, and that's why I wrote it down.
Mm-hmm.
And then they add all this drama to the show. So before they go and make this trip, they go to the shooting range to prepare to fight the
Oh,
reptilians.
you gotta prepare, right? You gotta.
Yeah, because he goes and he makes it clear. He's like, if they are real and they are 11 feet tall, there's no way I'm gonna be ambushed without being prepared.
Did he have his Did he have his gun in his fanny pack? Like, is that where he kept it? Yeah,
Yeah, I love he does that.
yeah.
But it is funny how they go to the shooting range to prepare for this reptilian fight just in case.
Just in case it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they try to get into this underground thing, but there's water coming out,
Mm-hmm.
and they think the water is to just keep them out,
Okay.
and they're never able to get face to face with the
Reptilians.
reptiles
Yeah.
themselves.
Huh.
So, right, yeah, I don't want to ruin it, but they don't find them.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting conspiracy. It's an interesting thought. We'll never know, right? Because the reptilians, they're so crafty. They'll never let us see their true forms.
Right.
And we'll continue having to just.
It looks like if there is anything going on, it's gonna happen, or it's happening in Dulce, New Mexico, though.
There you go. So if you're fearful of this, just stay away from that town.
But I would encourage people to watch that conspiracy Jesse Ventura show from like 2012, because it can make people who hate conspiracies thoroughly entertained.
Nice. Oh, we'll watch out for that then. People, how old is the show? When did they go off the air?
I think it started in 2012, so
Okay, so like probably like the last
Yeah.
5-6 years.
yeah, I think
And you can find it on YouTube, right?
you can find some. I found it on not YouTube, but some other
Like video sharing.
video sharing site. Yeah,
Okay, so there you go.
but
So, any
Yeah.
last thoughts, John, before we go on the Reptilian Agenda? What did you
No.
learn? What warnings you want to give to our listeners?
I mean, I would say keep an open mind, but it's healthy to question things like we said.
Yeah, even as ridiculous like this, like I think this just shows it could be ridiculous like this, but there's something healthy about questioning things, right?
Yeah, there's gonna be some things that are out of your control.
Yeah. Yeah.
And watch out for those fucking lizard people.
There
That's
you
what I'm
go.
gonna say.
There you go. And stay clear of Dulce, New Mexico.
And they might try to tempt you by saving money on your car insurance.
There you go. So watch out for them. So with that, we leave you for another week. Watch out for our reptilian overlords. And until then, we'll see you next time. Bye bye.